and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome to Healing Out Loud. I am Michelle, also known as Divine Essence, and my lovely co-host here.
Hey.
I'm perfectly crystal. Imperfectly, I'm perfectly.
Yes.
The womb healing gay and Leo, the goddess of love. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hello there, my pod sister.
Hey, my pod sisters. Yes. How are we doing today?
We back
We doing right?
Ready?
Oh,
Yes.
We doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the nitty gritty of the meat and potatoes, I do definitely want to shout out everyone that watched our very first episode. The feedback was amazing. I mean, the feedback was overwhelming because it wasn't expected. I mean, I know we're doing something here that's great, but to realize that we're touching and helping people, that makes it
was really
worthwhile.
Dope.
It was really dope. So I appreciate y'all for checking in with us and watching us and actually letting us know what you thought. So that's important too.
Very important.
I also have a little. I want to put the spotlight on somebody. Crystal. Today I was scrolling on your Instagram, right? I was scrolling Instagram and I was looking and I was like, oh my God, she is so dope. Like, you meet people. You meet people. Like, and you only know that person from the point that you met them.
Absolutely.
You don't know anything about them prior to that, before that. So when I was scrolling on it, I don't know what brought me there. I just was scrolling on it and I was looking at some stuff, before I knew it. I was like, wow, you inspire me because, I'm a writer and you're a writer. And it's like, I look at you and I'm like, wow, with all of our flaws and all of the things that we have going on and just knowing you from January till now, damn, it's been like, 10 months already? Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't it crazy? It went fast.
And I was like, I've always I've wrote stuff, I put stuff out, but to the capacity that you have, that's where I want to go. Where I want to be. So, and then I saw you had you were doing, I guess a podcast where you were having soul conversations.
Oh yeah.
That
was my jam. That was my jam.
I was dragging into it. I was just like, man, I just got, I feel like we have to support our sisters and we have to uplift our sisters and let them know, when we see them.
Girl.
Hey, Bookie.
You sis.
Thank you.
And I just
thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate it. It's good.
It'll be fine because you just sound like me. Okay.
We love you, girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank y'all. I love y'all too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Love it.
So today, what we're talking about today, y'all. Today's topic is the miseducation of self-care. Are you sabotaging your growth?
Let's talk about it.
Are you sabotaging your growth?
This is so layered.
Been there, done that.
This is so layered. This is gonna be good, y'all.
Yeah.
This is gonna be good.
Let's break it down.
Listen, we can get into it. We can get into it now, to be honest, because we can carry this conversation. There's so many
it's
layers that we can touch with this.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about what it is. So I know, Chris, you said you had something you wanted to mention.
Oh,
or
yes.
Read or talk about.
I came with the receipts today. I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
What happened?
Did her thing disconnect?
She's coming. She's coming down.
Me? Oh, I'm so.
Here we go.
Oh, wow. I don't know what happened. Y'all.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
we're here now.
When I was doing some research, I was like, wow, like there's just so many things that I felt like I started to learn. I think that it's good to talk about like what I felt or what we felt self-care was prior to actually doing the work, like
Mhm.
before really
Mm.
doing the work, right? So I would say before I get into my stats here, that what I would have defined self-care as is really just that, very surface, very taking care of yourself, making
Mhm.
sure that you're up to par, like that you I don't want to say talk a certain way, but that you just carry it. You carry it well. Like you don't look like what you're going through. And I feel like
Mm.
that is such like something very churchy that's like been thrown out,
Yeah.
but you don't look like what you're going through. Um and that could be the furthest from the thing when you actually start doing
Oh
the
yeah.
work, right?
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
So I want to get
Oh
into some of these stats here. So, an American cited study on how self care is beneficial shows that there's an enhancement of self confidence by 64%,
yeah.
increased productivity by 67%, and overall happiness by 71%.
Mm.
Um, Now, that is based on the following when self care is doing things like going for a walk daily, how you're eating, maybe lessening your sugar and your alcohol intake, doing things that would reduce stress.
Mhm.
So far, the stats for 2024 have found that the Google trend for self care has nearly quadrupled since 2018,
Wow.
which makes a lot of sense because that's post pandemic. And
Yeah.
when the
Yep.
pandemic
Mm.
hit, and like we
Yeah.
talked about last week, people really couldn't do what they wanted to do, or how life has just changed, drastically changed for a lot of us. So, looking into different ways to feel better and reduce the mental stress, I could definitely see how those statistics can rise. Um, Experts say that a consistent self care routine has clinically proven to reduce and even eliminate anxiety and depression, reduce stress, minimize anger and frustration, and increase happiness. It is also strongly suggested that starting a 20-minute self care routine will have a drastic impact, even if you just dedicate 10 minutes a day. And before I just go into my last piece of research here, yesterday I had a book club meeting and the topic of self-care came up and I was like, wow, this is so crazy, because I'll
Wow.
be talking about this tomorrow. And I brought up one of these statistics, and one of the ladies who spoke, was a good friend of mine, said that when she was listening to the statistics that she almost had tears because she can't think of anything that she can do in her day-to-day schedule to dedicate 20 minutes to herself at all.
Mm.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
So she works in the
Wow.
school. She is a wife. She's a mother. And she was like, I was really sitting here thinking, what can I do to put out 20 minutes for myself? And she couldn't think of anything. And I mean,
So
there's so many
Wow.
people
not to cut
who,
you off, but
Mhm.
that will segue us into the self-sabotage of her
Yes.
existence because
Yeah.
she's
That's what I was
technically
thinking.
self-sabotaging her own self. And really
Mhm.
the sacrifice would be to prioritize 20 to
Right.
Mhm.
30 minutes for herself. The kids can mind their own for 20 to
Mhm.
30 minutes. So
Yeah.
that's
Right.
where we'll lead into the self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking while you were saying it. I said that could be considered self-sabotage because
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you, in one
Absolutely.
whole day. Now, you know what? I can say that I've been there before because, or even if I decided to take a minute to myself, I felt bad about it because I'm like, there's
Mm.
something I should be doing,
I
Yeah.
read that. I read
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a
Mhm.
form of self-sabotage. You can't even enjoy the moment
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that
I
you're even
didn't.
taking 5 to 10 minutes.
I didn't. I'm sorry to cut you off, Sha. I didn't take the number down, but I believe it said 41% of Americans feel guilty when they
Hmm.
try to
Mm.
do anything that is
I believe it.
classified as self care.
I believe that.
I
So,
believe it.
Mm-hmm.
and I think what I feel from that is that there's something going on internally that you feel guilt about giving yourself some time.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be the self-care versus the self-love because they're two different things.
Yeah.
Self-care is taking care of
It's
yourself
what
on the
society
outside.
portrays.
Yeah, on the outside, but on the inside, you got a whole lot of stuff going on, which is preventing you from really loving on yourself the way that you should.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But y'all, we live in a society that says sleep when you die, hustle all day, every
Yeah.
day. Don't,
Get rich or die
don't
trying.
stop
Yes.
getting.
Right.
But that's also in our community, because
That's us.
Yeah.
for the majority, there's been like a scarcity mindset when it's come to resources. So the whole like, no sleep and hustle all day. That's like, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. Not if it's gonna
Right.
put me in the grave.
Exactly.
Like no. What good am I to anybody if I'm burnt out?
Yeah.
Right.
I could
I
relate
agree.
to that. Like, like prior to having my son 2.5, y'all know my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to
Shout out
having
to
my
Lucy.
baby, I tapped into this journey of self-care, self-love. It was honestly effortless. To my amaze, it was very easy to pour into myself because I really didn't have nothing else to pour into. So
That's
I
beautiful.
was just,
Mm-hmm.
I was really just
Yeah.
pouring into myself at a massive level. I got to know myself like to the depths of my soul, and then I had a baby, and that guilt came up when I would take a moment to myself, like, wait a minute, he needs you now. You can't do
Yeah.
that, and it's like,
Yeah.
and y'all know, some of y'all know, it took me a while to figure out that I am supposed to prioritize myself. And then
Yeah. Sure.
even now in this season, I'm learning how that looks because he's consistently growing and changing and things like that. So I have to constantly readjust what that looks like. My routine is not so consistent like I would like it to be, like it used to be. And then I have to deal with, or I've dealt with mostly the feeling of the self-sabotage, because I'm like, well, I got to do him first. Like there was months at a time where I wouldn't worry about me, my hair, my nails, my nothing. And that's just the surface based stuff. But my journaling, my meditation, my prayer, none of those things were happening for weeks and weeks on end at a time,
Yeah.
because I'm like, he needs me. And I
Right.
realized until I had nothing to give him, or like not much to give him, I'm like, I'm self-sabotaging myself and him. I'm sabotaging
Mm.
growth. So
Right.
just for the people listening, especially the people who feel like they have so much going on. If I'm a single mom to a toddler, if you have all these things going on, you cannot have all these things going on if you don't get time with you. Because all
Yeah.
those things are just disrupting what you can be doing with yourself and the time
Right.
you spend with yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
where do you guys think that even comes from? I mean, we could talk about that for days, but that comes from someplace that's internal. That battle of loving yourself, that battle of caring about yourself, that battle of, okay, I matter.
I feel like
So
that's
that,
passed down. It for a good
yeah,
portion of a lot of people, it's passed down. If you seen your mother running on fumes and faith all her life, and really didn't implement boundaries or do anything for herself, even take care of
mm-hmm.
herself, you're gonna be that way. It's possible you're gonna be that way. If she had toxic relationship after
Yeah,
relationship, it's possible you could be that way. I mean,
that's
there are a
very
lot of
true.
things. I love my mama. Shout out to her. But there are
Period.
a
Hey,
lot of
mom.
things that were that I found undesirable about a lot of my day-to-day practices that I realized I saw my whole life, and I literally became those things.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
happens.
I mean,
It
Yeah.
happens.
yeah.
Or
I
sometimes
also
people
feel like when you, I'm sorry, Lele. Go ahead.
No, mine's is real quick. Sorry, I was just gonna say, or you can also become the extreme opposite of your parents.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's true.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's
I've
true.
watched my mom be extremely like irresponsible and lackadaisical with things, and in my teenage years, that made me feel like I couldn't go without like her. Like I gotta do the
Yeah.
most, So it could. Or and my dad was like super work, super hard, super gotta go, and I'm like, that's too much. Like it could make you go to the
Yeah.
extreme opposite and not know
Yeah,
balance. So I just wanted to highlight that too. But
Yeah.
And
that's
in
true.
religion, a
That's
lot of
very
times
true.
growing up in church, a lot of times in religion, self love, self pleasure, self adoration sometimes can be looked at as sinful.
Yeah.
And they
And
use
You
certain
said
idolatry.
self.
scriptures
You
to
said
back that
self
up.
pleasure, and I ain't gonna lie, my mind went a little to the left.
Well, they do. They kind of drag it, but it's
Yeah.
almost like love thy brother more than you love yourself. I don't know the exact scripture or
Yeah.
how it's quoted, but what I'm
Right.
saying is some people take
It's
that
true.
literally, like, you know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes can affect you, your limited beliefs. It just affects that.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like,
That's
is
so
it a
true.
sin if I feel like I need a new outfit for this party? Or is it a sin if I tell my brother no and I know he's struggling? You know what I'm saying? So all those things come into play.
I feel like with that, the church and as a whole never taught balance. They taught the
Absolutely.
word without balance. And so
Absolutely.
you can do things, and whether you do it to the extreme or in moderation, but it depends on why you're doing it. And then also to kind of separate like the person preaching versus the word. It's like the art from the artist, because people deliver things with like their own type of conviction that they'll throw on you, that will make you feel like you're being attacked, like you're being force fed this and attacked at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Looks like
It's heavy.
what do you guys think are signs of self-sabotage?
Oh, for sure, procrastination. Big one.
Without a doubt.
Huge.
You better get out of my face calling me out. Look.
I am my sister's keeper.
Oh man, what are signs?
Refusing to ask for help.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
That's
I hadn't thought of that one. Also, Tasia said not setting boundaries.
Not setting boundaries.
Yes.
I would also say a lack of self-awareness. That is self-sabotage, because you will never have it all figured out. You'll never have it all figured out.
Never ever.
Yeah.
And also making excuses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else, you guys? Missing opportunities. I'm thinking about your girlfriend from your book club. Missing opportunities based on other obligations. I can't do this because I have to go to the grocery store. But that might be a one-time only thing. Sis, delay the grocery store and take care of that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
That there's 24 hours in a day, and she really doesn't think that she has time to put to the side and say, let me just sit down and breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
Like that's 10 minutes.
That makes me sad.
Yes, me too.
It does.
Because there are so many of us that are
the only
in that
one.
space.
Yeah.
But we don't see that as not being normal. We think that that's normal to do. Oh, I gotta do
this.
I'm getting things done. Yeah, I'm getting things done. So as long as I'm getting things done, I'm good.
Y'all, we're in a society where if you rest, you lazy. That's called being lazy.
Yes.
You laying down in the middle of the day? What? You lazy?
I'm gonna take a nap.
Let me say something.
I'm gonna take a
time.
Okay. When soul care was canceled, I was like, okay. And I'm staying here. Okay.
I remember asking my boyfriend, I was like, babe, we should take a nap date.
Period.
I love it.
Set the mood right.
Yeah. Take a nap date.
Get all cozy.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So self-care versus self-love.
The
differences.
So I believe self-care is mostly based on making yourself feel good. Self-love don't always have to feel good, because it's gonna be hard to set boundaries. It's gonna be hard to show up, and it's gonna be hard to fast for 3 days and not eat.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
She's speaking from experience.
That's self-love. That's self-love.
Right now.
That's love.
Right now, real time.
That's love of self. Because
That's
you know what you need to do. Right.
Self-love is more sacrificial. It's you know what I'm saying? It can be.
It requires discipline.
The difference between it requires more discipline. It does. And I think self-care can be the things, which is also very important, but that you implement to keep your frequency high, to make you feel good, to make you feel confident, to make you feel sexy. All those things are self-care, if I had to put it in a word.
Yeah.
And I also would like to add, self-care is it has a time limit. You know what I mean? Those things happen, they come and they go. But self-love can last you a lifetime. If you develop it and you continue on that journey of self-love, that can last you. But self-care, it comes and it goes.
Yeah.
Agreed. And if you're not careful with self-care, you'll be chasing that thing to give you a
Well, to
moment
feel
of
better.
gratification. What, I'm using the wrong word.
No,
Gratification.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
self
Still,
gratification. You'll be chasing it. Oh, my nails. Let me get my nails done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can feel good about myself. But meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
yeah, back at the
inside you
ranch.
a mess. That's
Yep,
Yeah.
right. You a
Yeah.
mess.
yep,
But you
yep,
look good. You
Yeah.
yep.
look good. Like, but I need a feeling right now. But
I'm chewed
oh
up.
The
well.
lock
I'm chewed up, but I
look
love me.
the lock
I love
journey
me.
the lock journey has really helped me discern that. I remember making a
Mm,
post sometime last year with my hair. I ain't had my hair done in forever. And at that time it was financial reasons and things of that nature. But also it just wasn't my top priority at the time. And my hair was looking like, you got locks, they grow out, you know how they get.
mm-hmm.
I remember like having to be like naked about it, like on
Mm-hmm.
the media and say like, you know what, I'm actually really, because I still love having locks. And I
Mhm.
remember saying like, this is actually really helping me embrace myself, going places with my hair like this, loving on myself with my hair like this. I
Yeah.
to chase the retwist to say I'm a baddie. Like, no, I'm a baddie because I'm
Right.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
real.
so I think for me the lock journey has been a nice symbol of discerning between the self-care and self-love, because you don't
The
always
remedy. Yeah,
get that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able
yeah,
to
So
love every
true.
the beginning
That
stage.
is
absolutely.
so true. And
So
since you're
loving
talking about
every
the lock journey too,
Mm-hmm.
that's because
Yeah.
I'll use it as my first set of locks. I was like, oh no, this is the ugly stage. Nobody's gonna see my hair. I was wearing
Girl,
wigs until my locks budded and grew out. I was not letting nobody
girl.
see my hair until those locks was forming and they was a little bit longer. The
Mm-hmm.
second time I did it, I was like, I don't care, because that just shows you where I was then and where I am now. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
there's no such thing as an ugly stage.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So my
There's
locks, the
no.
same thing happened with me as far as my
Mm-hmm.
locks. When I started the journey, I was like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. I just thought I was just the ugliest person. I went on Amazon and bought 20 beanies, 20, all different colors. I was rocking them joints every single day. But it's funny because like Lael said, it's like sometimes in your lock journey, you get to a place you need a retwist. You might not be able to afford one right then, or you need
Mhm.
it, you just don't feel like it. Something else is more of a priority. Do you know I started to love my hair in that state of needing a retwist? I
Yes.
love the way I look naked and
Yeah.
unafraid. I
Yeah.
love that look on me. It was just like,
Mm-hmm.
damn. It took me a long time to get to that place because
Yes.
I was who Crystal spoke about, the person that you don't look like what you've been through or what you're going through. And I
What you
worked
Mm-hmm.
going
hard
through?
at not looking like what I was going through. And it was all a facade. So
Mm-hmm.
it
Yes.
wasn't, so those self-care elements that I put in place at that time in my life, all they were was for people pleasing and to
Mm,
cover up the reality of who and what I was
the
at that moment,
mask.
Yeah.
in that time. It was a
Yeah.
mask.
That's
It
the
was a mask.
mask.
So just on the topic of hair, I've cut my hair. I've done a big chop twice in my life. Like the first time, I just wanted something different, but I didn't really. I mean, I just really just did it because I wanted short hair. The second time in 22, I felt pulled to cut my hair. I did like a lot of research. I had like a lot of different opinions about it, and I didn't know, like, should I do it myself? Should I get someone else to do it? But I felt like spiritually, I just felt like I needed to like release. I had like a couple situations happen, and then one day I called my dad. I was like, hey, you got clippers, right? I'm about to come over and get them really quick. And I just went in my bathroom and just shaved my head.
Wow.
And I felt like such a huge release. Like I cried, but it was a cry like because I literally felt lighter. And I mean, after that, I probably cut my hair like 11 more times, just like
Oh, I love it.
because I wasn't ready to grow it out. Because the reason I cut it, I felt so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was
Yeah.
like this short. Like, I felt so beautiful than I've ever felt, so feminine. I felt really free that I didn't want to even grow my hair back because I was so attached to what felt like a source of freedom for me. And so to kind of go back, because I wasn't able to say like what I feel like self-care versus self-love looks like. For me, sometimes I feel like they're blurred a little bit in my life.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care, is I feel like a form of self-love. Self-love is when you have to, in my opinion, when you have to do the hard things, when you have to do what doesn't feel good, you have to look in the mirror, you have to call yourself out sometimes about your own stuff. You have to apologize. We talk about setting boundaries a lot, but that's really real. Like sometimes you have to go to the people that you love and say, I don't like this, or I love you,
Yes.
but this sucks. But I'm actually not interested in pursuing this relationship anymore because there's just been too many times where I've been disrespected to go back from. Like that type of loving yourself and coddling yourself and holding, like not coddling, but comforting yourself, like the inner child in you. Like there were a lot of things that happened to us where we were violated and we were mishandled. And
Right.
there were
I got you,
people
baby.
that didn't step up. But I got you now.
I got
And
you.
I'm going to step up for you. And we're going to address and align everything. That is self-love.
Absolutely.
And then self-care is getting your pressies, getting your hair done.
Yes, yes.
To make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
the work.
to plainly put it, self-care is outward, self-love is inward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know there's been days when I didn't feel like even just getting up and just putting on, clothes, that were nice. I just felt like, ugh, this is what I'm gonna put on today. But then I felt bad.
Wow.
Like when I looked in the mirror and I wasn't dressed properly, like, well, in my mind, dressed properly. Yeah. So for me, dressing, like I put a little face on, I got some lipstick on,
Yeah.
But those days when I just wasn't feeling well and I threw on some sweats and just ran outside, I felt horrible.
Because I was started with like that? You said you wasn't feeling well and then you put the sweats on.
I wasn't feeling well, so I felt like I was dressing the way that I felt.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So I feel I'm not even gonna do all that. I'm just gonna. But then when I looked at myself in the mirror, it just made me feel worse. It's like sometimes it's times that I felt like, okay, I don't feel great today, mentally.
Y'all catch me outside sometimes right now. Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley.
But the thing about that is that you probably are like, whatever, I don't care. I'm not gonna, what I look like right now, it doesn't matter. But I took me a while to get to that place.
Wow.
Because I felt like even though I'm feeling this way, I still had to dress up.
Yeah.
I still had to make myself look, presentable. It's just
you don't want to look like what you're going through.
What I'm going through.
Yeah.
But if it's okay that I was looking like what I was going through. It's okay. Absolutely. It's okay. But it took me a minute to get to that point because it's like I was more concerned about what other people were gonna say.
Yeah.
Look at her. Look at how she looks. Look at how. Oh God, why she look like that? Why she put that on?
Self-sabotage.
That's self-sabotage.
I know some of these people be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because they see me when I'm up and they see me when I'm running to the store and I'm just throwing anything.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes they be like, well, shit, is she homeless? Because what the hell?
Look, I done made moo-moos a fashion statement, honey. Catch me outside. How about that? Come on.
If you catch me outside, don't even ask.
Get there.
When you said self-sabotage, real quick, I'm thinking about how it's also self-sabotage when you're not allowing yourself to be in your authentic space.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yes.
That's really good.
Like in a way, like if you feel like you down and out, you don't feel well, you're not up to par, but you go make yourself look it and try to pretend to be
right.
It's forced.
Your inner experience and sabotaging your authentic experience to where you probably can help yourself feel better, but instead I'm gonna just act like I'm better. I'm gonna act like
that's
prioritizing the outside. Yeah, prioritizing the outside and neglecting the inside is self-sabotage.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
But you don't know that you're doing it when you're doing it though. You're just like, okay, because you know what? I know that oftentimes you, like you said, you don't want to look like what you've been through. That's been so embedded in us. That's what we just think instead of saying, feel what you feel.
Right. It's crazy in the church. Thank God she don't look like what she been through. Can I get an amen?
And y'all
meanwhile she's going through it.
Exactly.
When she go home and nobody knows she's in the dark and she's crying and she got all these things going on. But she
and you want to say, sister so-and-so, that's not a compliment. Get on up. Get on up.
Right.
Get on up.
Right. And that's not a compliment. So when people want to be, oh yeah, I don't look like what I've been through. That ain't a flex, boo.
Exactly.
That's not a flex.
Yeah. When you know, like when I think about especially like with social media, how that's just life now. Like the influence with any of the socials. For me personally, I have no problem deactivating my personal pages for like 9 to 11 months at a time and popping back up just to kind of like unplug. Because the truth is there are so many like people who are influencers and they've made a lifestyle by way of being an influencer, and they struggle with taking a break from having to be who people need them to be. Wow. And prioritizing themselves. So a lot of influencers, if you pay attention now, are sharing their journey about what it looks like to love themselves, their spirituality, because you can't do both. Yeah. Like you can't be in this world and then struggling over here. So it's, like they're kind of incorporating it too, which is a beautiful thing. But you would be so surprised what, and this may be triggering for some that are listening. You see somebody, you love them, you follow them, they're so influential, you would never know what they're going through. And then the headline is they jumped out the window or they committed suicide. Like you really never know. And the last thing I researched was in reference to soul care, because I was doing research on, okay, now what is soul care versus self-care? And so there was a study that found that people who reportedly improved their spiritual health also reported better health physically as well as mentally, which, that within itself, when you're grounded and solid, I may look like shit, but I feel beautiful inside. I don't care what
it radiates.
I would kind of turn to the side and show y'all my little bun right now because I'm hyping shit about this bun now that I can get my hair to 20.
But y'all, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna finish this conversation. Like it's 30 minutes already, y'all. You see how I got these conversations?
Tap into your essence with a divine essence candle. Candles that soothe your soul and balance your chakras. Each candle has an affirmation inscribed on each jar to help you stay grounded, create balance and harmony. Use code DE20 for 20% off your first purchase at divineessence.us.
What up, peeps? RG from the United Front. Got a quick question for you. Have you always dreamed about podcasting, but you don't know where to start or what even platform to use? Well, I can answer one of them questions for you from the start. Make StreamYard your first investment in your podcast future. StreamYard's easy to use, and it allows you to go live in multiple platforms at once. So, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you can stream them all at the same time. Show us some love. That's my point. When you open up a StreamYard account, use that link below. That actually gives us some love so we can keep producing the same content, and you can also be using the same high quality technology we use to bring the content to your internet browser. So please and thank you in advance. Go StreamYard, go United Front. Talk to you later.
Tired of the same old motivational speaker? Well, unlock your full leadership potential with Penny Owens. Through storytelling and real-life obstacles with real-time solutions, you'll heal your inner child, expedite the learning process, highlight your strengths, and soar to the next level. Using my keynotes, Depression Ripple, and Purpose Power Infusion, I tackle the underlying issues that keep you from being where you want to be. Join the many who have changed their lives after hearing me speak. Go to www.pennyowens.com.
Welcome back. If you just joining us today, we are talking about the miseducation of self-care. Are you sabotaging your growth? This conversation was getting real deep.
Mm-hmm. Getting good.
Real good.
It was getting real good, real good. We almost missed the break. Our engineer was like, break time, break time.
Talking about my little bun.
Right. And that just goes back to what we were talking about, just showing up, showing up.
Yeah.
Just showing up. And everything
For
I
real.
have to be, I used to be, if somebody saw me looking another type of way, they'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like something had to be wrong with me in order
Yep.
for me not to be. It's like, now I'm just like, whatever.
But
Yeah.
Shelly, you also got that New York in you. Like New York, y'all got a little
Exactly.
standard. Y'all got a little
Yeah, we
bourgeoisie
do.
on
You're a
up.
little spicy.
Y'all got
Y'all
that
wake
to
up
You're a
and
you.
little
show up.
spicy.
Listen,
Come
my
on.
We
dad from New
do.
York.
We do.
My
But
dad,
you
my
know
whole
what? A lot
family from New York. They never let me go
but
out the
that's
house. I
bad.
wasn't allowed to wear a scarf for nothing. Like never,
Wow.
never. No way. Like
And
it
if
was,
you know what, and if I did wear a scarf, it was like, who gonna see me? Because now I'm
yeah.
out here looking crazy.
Oh,
Well,
my mom had
because now I'm out here looking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh wow, look at that.
I'm guilty of self-sabotage.
Appreciate you, sis.
We all guilty of
Thank
self-sabotage.
you.
We're all guilty of self-sabotage. We
Yeah,
are
for
all
sure.
guilty of it.
We've
But
all
then
done
we gotta sometimes when like those days when I'm waking up and I'm not feeling myself and I have to second guess whether or not I'm gonna glam myself up just to go to the store. Because I would never go to the store without like my ex used to be like, you doing all that to go to the store? Hey.
Period.
He's like, what? None of that makes sense. I was never gonna be caught slipping. Like you never gonna
Yeah.
see me outside.
But I
And
do want to highlight, I do want to say too though, because I don't want the viewers to think like, okay, that just means okay, I'm never supposed to, because you can carry an energy and really if it's authentic again, if you really in your authentic space where actually every day I actually feel like this and this is
Yeah.
how I want to show up and I actually want to do it all up. I want to do the full face. I want to be, all the things because this is the energy I'm in.
Yeah.
Not because I'm thinking about what other people going to say or all those
yeah,
things. Then do it up, sis. Like it's not
Yeah.
no, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's no one
Yeah.
right way. The point is that you feel good internally in your
Yes.
soul, regardless of
Exactly.
no matter
Yes.
And
how
it's
you
almost like
look
you're
on the
not doing it
outside.
against your will. It's
Right.
like
Right.
I don't want to get
That.
dressed. I don't want to be cute.
Yeah.
I don't want to,
yeah,
Yeah.
That's good, Leo, because we definitely don't want to be irresponsible with the message.
Right.
yeah,
We're simply stating that what we have found on our journeys of healing out loud is that there was an importance in finding the balance between what it looks like and what it actually is. Like
yeah,
for
Right.
real, for real. I remember a couple months ago in Soul Care, how I was talking about I got to a point where I didn't want to do anything that I didn't love. I wasn't
I love
going
that.
anywhere if I wasn't feeling like love was there. I wasn't wearing anything. I don't care if none of this matches. I love this hat, this shirt, and these pants. They
Yep.
all make me feel good. I feel good. Now, that's not every single day because I'm human and life is just different. But when you do show up for yourself aesthetically, it does help how you are feeling on
yeah,
the inside.
yeah,
Yeah, and now that
It
like
does.
I'm in a place where I'm doing the work, I do make it a point for that to be reflective on how I show up to the world when I leave my house. But it's that balance. I did want to say something real quick though, right? I have found that the ways that I have self-sabotaged in my journey is by not um sh- by not showing up for people. This is odd, right? Because we should be showing up for ourselves as opposed to kind of letting people trample us. I found that I haven't shown up in this journey because I've been so ready to fight for me and to protect me that it's almost like a lot of times I have stunted my own growth by building this wall and not allowing anything to penetrate me when there's
Wow.
nothing wrong with that, depending on if you're using wisdom and discernment. But I've kind of built this wall, and sometimes I would say that I wasn't shutting down because I wasn't doing it in a sad space. I was calling it protecting my peace when I was
oh,
actually
God,
in a very pretty way saying fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And that has been a form of like sabotaging,
Yeah, but were you really saying fuck y'all, or were you trying to
Absolutely, I
protect
was.
yourself from emotional pain though? You know,
Yeah,
sometimes people
Oh.
in
say
the moment, I was doing that, protecting myself from emotional pain, but it was pain that I should have checked. And so
okay,
instead of me using my voice and saying, this doesn't work for me, this hurts me, or can we talk about it, I would just shut down.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Mm. Yeah, that brings up for me, at times, I've always been, I probably talked about this in soul care. I've always been a person who doesn't like sympathy, like, oh, so I would not share things for that reason, because
Wow.
I never wanted people to just be like, oh, Michelle, it's okay. It sounds so crazy, but it's like,
I don't want your love.
Leave me alone.
Don't love me.
Is that right? Because I don't want pity. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. So I wouldn't share. Even though stuff could be so wrong, I could be just in the damn valley all by myself.
Wow.
And it probably would show up on my face, and then someone would ask, and I'm like, everything's all good. Because if I start to tell you what's going on, then I'm gonna get the pity. Then I'm gonna get the, oh, it's okay. It's not gonna be okay. So don't tell me that's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You don't know.
Right.
I didn't want any of that. So I had to sit with that and be like, why am I like this?
Wow.
Like, I don't want to feel, I don't know why I don't want people to love on me. Not now. That was, and I'm not even gonna say this is recent that I was like this. I would say maybe right before soul care. I mean, you guys are my safe space, so I don't feel like that with y'all. Because you know what I'm gonna get from y'all is authentic, and it's gonna be genuine. And I think that's my fear, is that some people will just take what you say and run with it, and it won't be, it just will be something that they hold against you, or you know what I'm saying?
To open up to somebody, and the only thing they say is, "Damn, that's crazy."
Damn, that's crazy.
Right?
I'd be like, get out of here.
Never mind.
Wait, hit my whole thing on you.
No, you know what though? You know what I remember, like in the beginning of soul care, a lot of women were struggling with their feminine energy and being able to be receptive and being able to be open. Yeah, I ain't want to say but
yeah.
And what y'all both just spoke on, Chris and Shelly, is just literally that. I'm not open. I'm not going to be open and just vulnerable for you. I'm not going to allow you to see me in that way. You can't come in here and just love on me.
And divine feminine speaks to vulnerability.
Yes. But
I don't think I didn't even start sharing until I was like a month.
You didn't.
Girl, you didn't. You was a no limit soldier. You was a no.
I was.
I was quiet, but I like her over there.
She's like, I'm here for you, sister.
Yeah. But the work is going in, like really nurturing that feminine energy and stepping into that divinity is where you, like you talk about, that wisdom and discernment starts to go in. So you don't have to have a wall up. You can actually just observe and say,
come on.
No, actually.
And it feels so damn good, y'all. I could cry.
Because then you trust yourself when you do set the boundary. It's not out of fear. You're not setting a boundary out of fear and protection.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely
unknown threat. It's
absolutely.
Because I realize I'm protecting my little shell.
Yeah,
absolutely. Self-sabotage sometimes, y'all, it shows up as like mini ego. You know how your ego, it protects you from certain stuff, but so does sabotage almost. They're both negative things, but they still are in us to protect us from things that unseen and seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they kind of show up like siblings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get it honest, but we gotta check it.
Period.
Yeah.
Because the ego is there for a reason. The ego is supposed to be your friend. You're supposed to be in love with the ego. You ain't supposed to be in competition with it. It's there for
What said, sometimes you need your ego. Gotta remind these fools.
Yeah.
I love that.
I need that little armor.
Sometimes you gotta wake it up.
Because we
period. Wake it up.
We gotta balance. But Gabe, what is soul care? That's what
hold up.
That's what's being asked. What is
Yes.
soul care?
Oh,
We talk about it, so let the people know
Yeah,
who
let the
don't
people
yeah,
know.
honey,
Soul
what is
care.
that?
What is soul? Oh, what is okay? I see you. Soul
Yeah.
care is definitely the care of those soul things, those grown things, those things that have haunted you, that have getting to the root cause of your need for spirituality, your need for sisterhood, brotherhood, and coming together to cultivate a loving and nurturing environment for
Mm.
your soul to thrive, for you
Yes,
to be spiritually lifted and awakened. And
yes.
really, we're all just trying to reach our higher selves, to be honest. That's where we're all headed together
Whether
as
you
a soul
realize it
care.
or not.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So soul
Whether
care
you
was
realize it or not.
established, where we a year in now?
Yeah.
It's a group of
Yes.
sisters with like hearts, like minds, sometimes like minds, but like hearts for sure.
Like
And
heart.
we
We're gonna
and
stick
we
with
are
the like
all
heart.
Like I like hearts.
we are
I'm
all on a
thinking
healing
about
journey, trying to heal from things that were meant to destroy us. And we've come together, and we're solution based because we come together. We don't just come together to pour out gossip. We don't do that. We don't come together to just hear each other's business every week. We come together solution based to help our sisters through whatever they're going through. And then just to
Mhm.
be there for those times when sisters want to cry. Just
Yeah.
shut up and let her cry. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Yeah. What y'all think? Can y'all add to that, or did I get it right?
May I? Yes, I want to
Absolutely.
add to
Yeah.
that.
I'll add after.
What I have found is that by way of sharing, all of us have realized that in some point of our life, we have had maybe toxic or imbalanced relationships with other women. Whether it
Yes.
was our mothers, our sisters, the cousins we grew up with, maybe we were a part of girlfriend cliques, that there was just always something going on. And when you're growing with people or growing around people, and even if, like, I'll just, say myself, coming up out of, some old habits that I had that prevented me from like really flourishing into who I'm supposed to be in this world.
Mm.
When you are bleeding in front of people, that can flare up, that can hold, like, you don't know who to trust. Like even Shell was saying, it took her a very long time just to open up herself, to just to let people be concerned, let alone love on her. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To allow that. And so to be in a group of women where it's like, not only do I want to know what's going on, I'm going to help you with what's going on. If you're going to pray, if you want to fast, and we're going to have a sisterhood, because I'm not going nowhere.
Mm-mm.
And if our lifestyles aren't the same, I'm not cutting you off.
Yeah.
I'm not kicking your back. I'm not doing all these things.
Yeah.
And we're relearning how to show up for other women, honestly
I
and
like that.
powerfully.
Mm.
Mm.
And I've been learning that within the last year that I've been
Yeah.
attending, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love
I'm
that.
grateful for y'all.
I
Yeah.
want to what soul care is for me too. All of what y'all said.
Right.
And also, for me, it was really like divine time, like exactly what I needed when it came. I mean, I
That's it.
what else?
Divine,
Like
divine timing.
Mm.
literally. I mean, my friendships, I love my friends that I had, my day ones and things like that. But there was just conversations that were not excelling, weren't able to really hold space for one another the way I
I
would have
feel it.
really felt like I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And coming into soul care, I just saw I remember the fear in everybody, because I think we all knew
Yeah.
it was about to get a little vulnerable. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Everybody was like, "Hold on, well, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know." You know.
Mhm.
But through time, it's like I love each and every one of y'all in wholly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though some are different, and as a one of the younger people in soul care,
Yeah.
I look up to many of y'all, and just appreciate the wisdom that is being shared. And wisdom is just experience. So y'all
Yeah.
have more years on me. Y'all got
Exactly.
more experience, so y'all got more wisdom. And I love to be able to be receptive to that.
Mm-hmm.
So soul care for me is like a big sister space, a space where I could actually be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I also want to say it's teaching me to be authentic in who I have. Like it's teaching me to release the pressure of how to be a group friend too, because I
Oh,
remember talking about that with Gabe, like in the beginning. I'm like, I don't really know how to be like the person for everybody, or like how to show up in a group setting for
Yeah.
people. Like, all my friends have always been separate. I've never had like
Mhm.
group friends.
That's
mhm.
Um,
good, Leo.
yeah, seriously, I've never had group friends. Like everybody was always, this is my clique, this that. So
Mhm.
here I'm learning how to be like, okay, these group of women are all my sisters, and I love y'all wholly.
Mhm.
Um and then the ones that I'm learning still on different levels, it's like
Yeah.
I'm learning how to show up still authentically, but not too much, because I
Not
don't,
too
Yeah.
much.
not too much.
Not too much.
Because
A
I
little
don't know,
bit.
but not because I don't like you, but because I know that where I see where you are in your journey, because you're vulnerable with me. I don't want to put more, like, I know that you can't
Exactly.
hold the space for me right now,
And
and
it got to be authentic.
you
Yeah.
It
know what
does.
I'm saying? So I just be
It
Mhm.
does.
authentic in that. So yeah, Soul Care is teaching me a lot about how to navigate, again, like Chris said, like relationships. But y'all like my big sisters, so I just love,
Period.
and I ain't never had a big sister.
I had told somebody, I said, yeah, me
Oh,
and a couple of the other ladies, we the old heads in the group. We the old heads. They the old head young boys. Y'all the old
well,
head young boys.
I'm in the
I
middle.
gotta
I'm in
add.
the
I gotta
middle
You in
add.
the middle,
generation.
Chris.
I gotta add.
Yeah, go ahead,
Everything
Chris.
y'all said. Everything y'all said. Everything y'all said. So I want to add. Soul Care to me is a space where women are not at each other.
Mhm.
And that's not even a thought. Like, no one's thinking like that. Everybody has just genuine, I said this before, genuine love. Also, Soul Care has helped me to create boundaries when it came to people that are in my life or in my life even before Soul Care. Because I
Wow.
always felt like I had to hold space for people just because of the years.
Oof.
Mm, yeah, talk about it.
Just because of the years, even
That
though,
blind loyalty. Come on.
right, yeah, that blind loyalty. And even though there's love there,
Hmm.
but we just not on the same path and we're just not on the same journey. I love
Absolutely.
you, but I'm finding that those relationships are becoming very toxic
Hmm.
and not part of the journey that I want to be on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Soul Care help me with that. I mean,
Oh.
Mhm.
that push of setting those boundaries, just with people in, especially women though, because Soul
Yeah.
Care, we all are all women. So just creating those boundaries with women, and showing up for yourself before you showing up for other people.
Come
Yeah.
on. Mm.
Yeah.
We all encourage.
Shell, when we first met you, it was at Healing Conversations, our very
Mhm.
first one. And I
Mhm.
said, who is the no limit soldier in the front? I gotta meet her. I gotta meet her.
I
I
love
liked you
Shelly.
from Rick.
Yes,
I liked you. And you were
because
like,
Yeah.
me
okay,
and
let's go.
Lael, I knew Lael from other spaces already.
Yup,
That's
you
how
did
that's how
say
I
that.
ended up in Soul Care. Yeah. So
Yup.
I connect with people's energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I felt like even though me and Lael probably didn't talk a lot in those other spaces, I think we connected.
I love
Our
Shelly.
energy
I
connected.
feel like,
Yeah.
Crazy. And then
Our
you see
energy
how it brought us
connected.
all together? It's just
yes,
Yeah.
divine.
Yes.
It's just
yes,
divine.
It's
Yeah.
yes.
just divine getting chills. I always get chills when things like I'm getting chills right now. But
Mhm.
yeah,
And
Soul
Gab,
Care.
you didn't say you was the creator of it. When you were talking about it, but I just want everybody, all the viewers, to
Oh
know
yes.
Yes.
the
Gabe is
the
the founder of Soul Care.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give her
And
flowers.
another thing that Soul Care taught me, while on this journey, is giving me so many tools. It also showed me how there were things that I had done wrong, and that if I was able to, I needed to go back and repair. I
Mm.
needed to give
Mm.
apologies.
Wake
I
that
needed
up.
Mm.
to hold space for people that held space for me unconditionally before I
Mm.
even realized what the damage that I was causing. Then also Soul Care also confirmed that there were some doors that need to stay
Needed
shut.
to stay
Yeah.
close.
But
Yeah.
Soul Care helped me to learn how to be accountable, so that going forward, I don't make the same mistakes again with
Yeah.
mishandling people, because I don't want nobody to mishandle me anymore.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
That's
this group
right.
has given me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
And
Holding
guess
yeah.
what?
people
We don't
accountable
walk
for how they
alone.
treat you.
Come on.
No, we
The
don't.
journey
This
gets lonely,
journey
but we
is,
don't walk alone.
and
That's
the
right.
good thing about it is that this is a lonely journey, and having people that are on the journey that are like minded makes it just
Uh-huh.
so much more better.
Yes.
That
Yes.
wasn't probably the right sentence to say, but
Mo better makes
get
it
what
Mo
I'm saying.
better.
Makes
Yeah.
him Mo better.
And without it being spooky, because I feel like nowadays the whole topic of self-care and healing is so bastardized.
Yeah.
And it almost kind of
It's
sounds like
trending.
when you hear it, you just begin to cringe, but
Yeah.
not realizing like every day you wake up and you choose yourself, you're going to always be evolving or healing, whatever you want to call it, through something, learning and unlearning or relearning through something, if you allow yourself to. And that's just life. Like life will be a constant evolution if you allow it to be.
For sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a great way.
Yeah.
Healing doesn't have to be bad.
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't have to take you to. I mean, you're gonna go through some things.
You're going to.
Oh no.
You're gonna go through some things.
I don't know. I say buckle up. Look.
Buckle up for the ride. Yeah. Buckle up for the ride.
Buckle up for the ride.
Yeah,
but it's almost like a beautiful pregnancy,
get a little...
because at the end of a pregnancy, you're going to have to give birth, right? You're going to have to labor, and that labor, that thing right there, that thing could potentially take you out. But you also know at the end of this laboring and this painful experience, you're going to birth something so beautiful, and you'll immediately forget the pain that you went through, because that's how beautiful it is.
And I'll
so
play
that
by my baby.
is the healing journey.
Beautiful.
I see our logo is a butterfly. Before a butterfly becomes a butterfly, what is it? It's a little ugly caterpillar.
All slow.
Walking slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure it all out.
Absolutely.
But this has been a great show. We are now coming to the part of the show where the segment that's called I Am Perfectly Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Where we give our inner child a little bit of advice.
Yes.
Who wants to start?
I'll go. So little Gabe, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your unguarded thoughts. Your worst enemy can't harm you as much as your unguarded thoughts. So stop the self-sabotage. You're worthy. You were born worthy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that. I'll go next. So little Layel, I will say you are going to experience a life that is going to scare the shit out of you. Do it anyway. Like whatever it is that you're afraid of, do it anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing it anyway. And we self-sabotage when we don't step into it because we're afraid. So even though you're going to be scared, baby, you got a journey that's coming that's going to be like, oh, I don't know. Do it. You got it. You're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that too.
I'll go. You want to go? You want to go?
Yes, I'll go.
Okay, you go.
I would say, little Crystal, you do not have to perform to be seen. You are already seen. God loves you, and you have no idea the light that you carry when you walk into rooms.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You do not have to show up anything or anyone other than yourself. You are perfectly fine.
I love it.
Yes.
Shelly.
And it's my turn. Little Shell. You no longer have to cry alone. You no longer have to cry in the dark. I have enough love for the both of us so that we can continue on this journey together.
Yeah. I got you, girl.
I'm giving up.
This is such a
warm all over y'all.
I want to cry now.
I know I got warm.
I'm literally just a girl. I'm literally just a girl.
Feel like
that was
get that
good.
shit out of here.
Oh, I'm from the Bronx.
You already know. Queens, baby. Queens. Building.
Oh God, don't mess up the borough now. You better get that borough right.
Get it right.
Don't play.
We all, the Bronx, Bronx is a little, I'm not going to say it, but, might be somebody from the Bronx watching, but no.
Tay said the light is bright, Crystal. Remember that.
Yes.
Tay,
Oh, thank you, baby.
Shout out to the chat and everybody that's been watching. I'm seeing all the
been
Instagram comments and things, and we don't ignore you guys. We see you, but sometimes the flow of the show just be flowing. And we can't get to every comment, and but we see you. We appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
If you guys love what you see on this United Front Network, we are one of 3 shows, or one of 4 now. I think it's another show. And if you want to consider donating to the network, you can consider donating at PayPal at OurGainsII. All proceeds go to the operating cost of this network. If you have feedback, you can reach out to any one of us, or you can send an email to weareunited@myyahoo.com. United Front Network is this power in numbers. So, we all about community.
Absolutely.
And helping our community and saving ourselves from ourselves. That's what we
Right.
So until next time, we will see y'all soon.
Peace and love.
Peace, y'all.
Great.
Happy Hip.